Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that thing. Oh my goodness. Wow. This is Kratos. He is a white husky. He's my roommate's husky. He's a good little fella. And he comes in and he sits on my feet sometimes. So, that's pretty fun. Hi. Hello. It's been a few days. Gosh, I don't know. I'm feeling a little, all over the place recently. Hold on. I picked up my banjo. I picked up an Irish tenor banjo, or a four string. It's in Irish tenor tuning, and I'm not very good, but I have been learning a few songs. I can play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I'm working on the Carrie Polka. I'll probably upload that again. I need to practice some more. I don't want to just put up just anything. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. We had my roommate's birthday this weekend. His name's Cody, by the way. We love Cody. He is the homie. He is 28. So nice job for making it that far, buddy. I'm proud of you. What else am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm making a little sourdough starter, or I'm trying to. It's not necessarily rising right now, but it's like day 4 or 5, and I've heard that's when it tends to stall. So I'm a little stressed about it, but we can always restart if we need to. I'm also making a cool pot roast today. It's just an eye of round, but I seared it this time because last time I let it just cook in the juices and it was too tough. I'm going low this time, and it just had like a weird gray look to it last time. So that's we're learning, and that's what this video is about. I'm learning a bunch of new stuff, and that's why I haven't been frequently uploading as on a tight schedule. Gosh, I can talk a mile a minute, or like 100 miles a minute. I don't know if a mile a minute is pretty fast. It seems pretty fast, right? But that's only like 60 miles per hour. I don't know if that's that fast to talk. Anyway, so yeah, I actually have done a little bit more reading of Entangled in Fluvia, my manuscript, in case you're just watching this video for the first time. You clicked on the video because of the dog, which I'll show you some more doggy. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. It's so good. Oh, you're a good boy. That's a good boy, huh? Yeah. I like him. I didn't always like him because he's a little, he's a husky. He's kind of full of it, but he's grown on me. He's a good fella, aren't you? Are you a good boy? You a good boy? Yeah, he knows he's a good boy. So yeah, Entangled in Fluvia. It has been actually pretty fun to reread it. I knew initially, writing it, I felt like I had something that was begging to unravel, in the sense that I wanted to see where it was headed. And a lot of my work in the past has had a very clear kind of path from the beginning. And I didn't really know where this one was headed for a while. And, as the process went on with drafting, I figured it out. But rereading, there is a cool setup. So you have the teacher, Philly Kodiak, is taken into custody. And what happens in these next few chapters is it kind of jumps around to a few other ancillary characters who are viewing the situation from afar. One of which is a DJ named Lorna Linnell. She is a kind of a mildly successful music artist, although that's not really as much in the manuscript as I would like. Maybe I'll do like a flashback with her. I don't know, though. There's not a lot of flashbacks in the story just because it's very forward momentum. And I want to kind of keep that. I want to kind of keep that consistent because flashbacks might make it a little bit tricky to follow because every single chapter and perspective is from first person, right? Although, except the first chapter is like a little prologue that is in media res, in media re. I'm an English major. I should know media res. Yeah? Then I don't sound pretentious. Anyway, it's in media res, so there is a scientist expedition. I've already kind of explained this in, was it the last video? The one about poop in your pants? um, so I think I kind of already explained that. But anyway, it's like an Area X, think like Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, some quarantine government chaos catastrophe zone, right? So you initially get that set up, and then it's a flashback. So kind of the whole story, I guess, is a flashback leading up until the point of the expedition again, roughly, right? So it's like kind of bookended by the overgrown city, and then it explains how it got there. But so far, I'm bouncing around a bunch of different characters. There's Heather, who's a neighbor, who goes down into Kodiak's basement to investigate because the police are all gone, the FBI are gone, and she takes Ronnie, her new neighbor, who she's kind of had a weird interaction with so far. What I'm trying to set up with Ronnie in her initial chapter is, you get that impression of meeting somebody, and usually, first impressions, they're a little chaotic sometimes, right? And so this chapter was meant to kind of steer away and subvert some of that expectation, where the worst thing can happen, where you're listening to somebody tell you their life story, and then your eyes kind of glaze over and you make a face that you don't realize you're making, and then the other person reacts negatively, a little conflict happens, and then that kind of sets the tone for their relationship going forward. So anyway, that happens in the beginning, and then Heather invites Ronnie out one night, like the night after Philly is taken down to the police station, and is like, hey, let's go check it out, right? And Ronnie is hesitant. She doesn't want to really go. And Heather's like, come on, don't be like a little baby, And they walk down the street, go to the house. Heather goes inside. Ronnie stays outside. Ronnie ends up leaving because Heather's gone for a while. And Heather ends up traipsing down the stairs and finds the remnants of Philly's grow operation, right? Not everything was taken. And she encounters some sort of green, psychedelic, Lovecraftian entity. And this ends up possessing her in some capacity. I don't really explain that much. I kind of leave it more for the reader. And that's something I think when you're doing a cosmic horror or something that's ineffable, it's hard to F it. You know what I mean? It's really hard to explain that which is like inherently abstract and beyond language. But I still make an attempt. Lots of colors, lots of sensory information. And they end up meeting again. Heather comes back, has some sort of vague interaction with Ronnie from her perspective. She's not really all the way lucid, and sets in motion kind of this infection, as it were. So Heather ends up being kind of like case zero for what the city of Fluvia will end up becoming. And so this microcosm of her interaction with Ronnie is largely like an interaction with Fluvia and this organism that that begins to take over. So Philly is waiting in the police station as well. He's interrogated by a couple FBI guys, and they don't really stick around long because he's just kind of, not giving them anything. He doesn't admit to anything. They realize it's kind of pointless, and they already know, obviously, because they've searched his house, and there's a ton of this substance, this drug substance, lichen fungus thing, that they've recovered, and they're seemingly having some plans for it, some spooky government shenanigans, right? But that's not super clear right now, so that kind of unfolds more. So overall, like, this whole cadence of the plot is pretty engaging for me to read. I don't know how it'll be for you, whoever the audience ends up being for this. If it's, close friends or family, or, total strangers, and you just happen to be watching my process. What else? So yeah, the last chapter I think I really read was Philly ends up getting kidnapped by the entity. It like comes for him and drags him into some sort of dream space, and it's like left kind of vague. Excuse me. So again, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't have a lot of edits that I've done consciously or intentionally. because a lot of it is just rereading to see if the flow is okay. And overall, I'm pretty happy with where it's at, which is really nice in the beginning when you have something that that is working. But as the manuscript gets larger, we know how continuity and issues tend to creep in. I've kind of explained it like a wagon wheel, where initially you have this tiny, circle, and then you start adding struts to it, or spokes, and you're trying to connect it to a larger picture of the wheel, right? But the spokes, when you're building them, tend to be kind of flimsy and uncertain in their construction. So you have weak parts of the story that end up causing the whole thing to collapse that you have to repair. It ends up pulling on itself and pushing on other areas. That makes it just difficult, right? Because it's very hard to hold an entire 60,000 plus word manuscript in your head at once. So rereading it, I'm really just looking for vibes. Oh yeah, here's our cat too. Check her out. She's very cozy right now. What do you have to say to the people at home, Yara? Huh? What do you have to say? She's like, get away from me, you hairy stinker. Can I zoom in on? No, I can't. Okay. Well, anyway. So that's kind of where I'm at. And the reason I haven't been uploading is because I've been busy trying to pick up banjo, doing sourdough starter, cooking this pot roast. That was just today. But other things have been going on, my buddy Cody's birthday. And yeah, it's been great. I feel very alive and full in life. And I just continue to be grateful for anyone who's clicking on this. Hopefully you've enjoyed me rambling thus far. I don't know how many are bots and how many are people who are just clicking off immediately. But again, I am just putting these out there because I want to. That's kind of it. So, that's where I'm at. And do I have anything else important to say? I mean, wherever you're at, whoever you are, and whatever you're doing, know that you are exactly where you ought to be. And it can be difficult if you're in a place that you don't really want to be. But when we're in uncomfortable, difficult positions, that tends to preface a change of some kind, and to take that opportunity with open arms. I think the most important thing is to just show up earnestly and to treat other people kindly, or rather how you'd be treated, or prefer to be treated. And that's really it. I'm kind of looking, the name of my channel is Chucky's Soul Searching, Wild Chucky Soul Searching. I'm not that wild. I mean, I am wild in presentation. Look at me. Wow, wild. But I've been really inspired by a lot of these other small YouTubers. I won't name drop any of them necessarily, because I think part of it is you will receive these people on your algorithm if you're looking for it. And to name drop is, I don't know. I don't want to feel like I'm a hipster for only seeing these people and I'm going to guard these YouTubers with my life and not get them more exposure. But I don't know. I think it's, YouTube is becoming more and more prophetic in its individual content creation for the user. And what I mean is your algorithm looks entirely different from mine. I don't have any Mr. Beast videos in my algorithm, for example, and I don't have any Hot Ones, really, or Good Mythical Morning, or I get a little bit of Moist Critical and Asmongold and Queso, big streamers and stuff. Northern Lion, another one, VODs and things. But I get a lot of podcasts and spirituality, motivating kind of podcasts and videos. I'm really into, Alan Watts, Terrence McKenna, Psychonauts, spiritual leaders, things like that. Because for me, this whole project is about uncovering, what I want out of life, which is, I don't really know. I think the more that hi, kitty. I think the more that I go on, the less I really want, in the sense of whatever happens is going to be perfect. And I haven't had a lot of loss in my life, cat butt for you. I haven't had a lot of loss in my life. I mean, I have, I've lost family members and friends and stuff over the years. But I'm only 30 this year, or I'm going to be 30. So I don't feel like I've had a lot of adversity, even though, I can think back to times that I have. But I feel really grateful. And the more that I go on, the more I just want to appreciate where I'm at and to share my process for decent living. How I'm figuring it out, because it's not clear. It's not clear what any of us are doing. And if people do claim to know things, it's probably for themselves and not really for anyone else. So I don't really feel qualified to give advice. I can kind of just show what I'm doing and, hopefully inspire you to find some sort of path of your own. Because that's really what this is all about, is for you to figure out who you are and to appreciate yourself, to be grateful and to take care of yourself, And I think it's important to just find gratitude wherever it is. What was it? David Lynch passed 2 days ago? 3 days ago? I don't know. But I'm a pretty big, at least Twin Peaks fan. I haven't watched any of his movies like Mulholland Drive or Blue Velvet or Eraserhead or things like that. But maybe I need to. I feel like it'd be helpful. But I really liked David's philosophy about searching for ideas through transcendental meditation, and just his abstract way of telling stories. And I think we lost a great artist. And as time goes on, I'm not saying it's like me who's going to replace some of these amazing people, but you will, right? Whoever you are. I think it's important to recognize you have the same creative potential as anyone else. You're just as valid and just as worthwhile of investing in as me or the cat or the world or the day or whatever it is. So I'd say thank you for watching. Thank you for spending some time with me. And if you continue to watch the videos, I hope you see how I just unveil my manuscript and talk about the process of learning to contend with it. It is my 6th or 7th manuscript I've ever worked on. So I've been writing since about high school. So, probably 13 or 14 years at this point. Not consistently. There's been the last 3 years I've been pretty dormant. I would write some short stories and I was kind of happy with them. Then I started working on a manuscript. I'm on my 8th manuscript, I think. I think that's right. Because the manuscript before, it was like a shared dream among a bunch of people who were kind of put into like an inception dream psychedelic space together. And there was like a hidden person in the dream with them. And I just didn't really know how to explain and explore the world. So, it just where the story was headed, it just didn't have a real narrative thrust as it was. So I kind of abandoned it, kind of turned it into Entangled in Fluvia that I'm working on now. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my projects and everything. Sorry I don't look as much into the camera. I have a tendency to talk and look elsewhere. I even did that I do that with everybody. But I think it's just weird to stare into your soul and to just never break eye contact except for when I'm blinking. And I mean, maybe it looks good in post, right? Like when I watch it back, it's like, oh wow, intimate time with Chucky, with Wild Chucky, and my soul has been searched for and now it's found. But yeah, I what am I even talking about? See, again, this is like the exact content I want to upload, which is stream of consciousness, crazy stuff, while I pet my cat. So, is it good? Does it feel good? She likes a little bit of the butt taps. You like it? What are you doing? Look at her. She's so sweet. Yeah, maybe I'm just taking advantage of the YouTuber stereotype, which is put animals in the video. People will love them. No, they're a big part of my life. I mean, obviously animals are super cute. Sometimes they can be a little frustrating because you know they're not aware of everything we've got going on, and they sometimes bark or they're like they constantly keep bunting your shit, dudes. Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me drop my phone. But they're so cute. See? Oh yeah, it's good.